Hello, my name is Tanaye, and today we will be doing a presentation on Google Sheets. Let's start off by exploring what exactly Google Sheets is. Google Sheets is a free program that creates spreadsheets. A spreadsheet is a digital application that stores and organizes data using a table. It's very similar to Microsoft's offering, which is called Excel. And Excel is another platform that is commonly used to create spreadsheets. Google Sheets was created by the American tech company Google. Google also has many other offerings that are like Google Sheets, such as Google Slides, which is their presentation software, and their Google Docs, which is their word processing software. Now let's look at some of the benefits of using Google Sheets. The main benefit of using Google Sheets is that you have the ability to work in real time with others. You can view and monitor the activity of other editors on your Google Sheets. Another benefit of using Google Sheets is that it's free. Unlike Excel, the features of Google Sheets are all available for free. You don't have to pay any extra to access all the functions. Another benefit of using Google Sheets is the automatic synchronizing of data, which makes it easy to transfer data across other Google products. Now let's look at some of the cons of using Google Sheets. The first con is that it's less efficient than Excel. Although Google Sheets is much easier to use than Excel, if you're working with larger data, Google Sheets can be much slower. The next con of using Google Sheets is that it supports less file types. Excel supports around 20 file types, where Google Sheets only supports 6 types of files. Another con is that it has less features than Excel. Google Sheets is not as advanced and nor it is not as professional as Excel. Now let's talk about how to access Google Sheets. Before accessing Google Sheets, you need to make sure you have a Google account. There's a brief link here that will show you how to direct you on a brief tutorial on how to make a Google account. Once you have made your Google account, to access Google Sheets, just search up sheets.google.com on any type of web browser. You can also access it from Google Drive or Google Chrome. Now let's look at some of the features of Google Sheets. If you want to create beautiful spreadsheets without any hassle, you can use the templates offered by Google. Templates are just preset designs that you can go in and edit. Google Sheets is suitable for many different occasions and purposes, such as creating to-do lists, calendars, or planners. Another feature of Google Sheets is that you can add illustrations or pictures to your spreadsheets. You can either create a drawing or insert pictures directly from your computer. Another feature of Google Sheets is that you can easily create graphs to visually represent data using the data compiled from your spreadsheets. This method of creating charts is quick and very user-friendly. Now we'll get into a bit of a live demonstration. So to start off, I'll show you how to access Google Sheets. To do that, first you are going to want to open a new tab, just like that. And then once you're at this tab page, or at this main Google page, you have a couple options on how to access Google Drive. The first option would be or not Google Drive, Google Sheets. First option would be to type it in, just sheets.google.com, and it will take you directly into the Google Sheets website. The next option that you have is, if you're at the home screen again, you can go to these 9 dots, which are titled Google Apps. Once you click on the 9 dots, you just scroll down and you find Sheets. And here it is there. So you just click on Sheets and it will bring us back to that same website. Now, you see that there are different templates that are available for offering. There's monthly budgets here, to-do lists, calendars, and all that kind of stuff, travel planners. So if you want to have a template on how to do certain things, you can just go into that. But for our purposes, we'll be just opening a blank document. Once you open up your spreadsheet, the first thing you're going to want to do is change the title of it. So for example, you just go to the top here, and then you just put in whatever name that you want the document to be. So for our case, we'll use Cyber Seniors Live Demonstration. And notice there, it says saved to drive. With Google Sheets, it will save the spreadsheet to the Google Cloud, so you don't have to worry about storing it on your computer. And it will also save as you go along, so you don't have to worry about constantly saving it and being worried that you might lose it. The next thing you can do is you can save it to a different folder. So if you have Google Drive set up and you have different folders where you keep different things, and you wanted to put your spreadsheet into one of those folders, you'd go to the top here where it has the little file folder with an arrow and it says move. And once you click on that, it will give you some options for different folders. I only have one right now. So, but if you have more, they'll all show up there at the top. And then you just open that folder or you click on it and then you press move. If you wanted to create a new folder, you create one here by clicking on this new folder button, and then you change the title of it. So you click on the new folder button, you change a title, and you say, and you just title it what you would want to be titled. And you press create folder, and then once you've chosen the correct folder that you want to place the spreadsheet into, click move here. And if you don't decide to put it onto a folder, that's fine too. It will save to your main Google Drive page. Now we'll get into a bit about navigating the spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is made up of many different kind of boxes, as you can see on the screen there. Here's different boxes, and what we call them cells when we're using spreadsheets. So the first way to get around and go through the different cells is to use your mouse. You can click on the cell with your mouse to select it, and then you can do some other tricks with it. So as I move my mouse and I want to select this box, I just click on it, and I can do that the whole time. And then you can also select multiple cells at one time. So if I wanted to select this chunk of cells, I'd start by tapping on this one. And then as I click my mouse, I continue to drag along and it will select all of them at once. So if I wanted to make a big change, I would do that. If I wanted to select individual boxes on its own, I could do that by pressing Control and then clicking on the different boxes in the different cells, and it will select those cells individually. If you're on Mac, instead of Control, you'll be pressing Command. Now we'll talk about how to navigate using your keyboard instead of your mouse. If you're using the keyboard, the way you get around it is using the arrow keys. So if you press the down key, you'll move down, then right key, then the left key, and then back up. To select multiple by using the keyboard, you press Shift and then you move it down, and you can move it right, left, and then if you want to go back, you just use the arrow keys to select the cells that you want to use. And then I'll show you how to merge a different cell. Or before I show you how to merge a cell, I'll also show you how to select full columns and full rows. So if you wanted to do a change that goes down this entire column, you would just click on where it says C. And then notice how it selects the whole column and it goes down forever. If you wanted to select a single row, you could just press the number beside the row, and then it would select the whole row going sideways forever. Okay, now we'll get into a bit about formatting. The first thing I'll show you how to do is change the size of the columns. Let's say you wanted to make this column a bit wider. You could do that by pressing on the line between C and D. So you put your cursor over it and it should highlight that line, and then bring up the two arrows. And then once you click, you can drag it to make it bigger, just like that, or you can drag it to make it smaller, like that. you can do the same thing with the rows by going between the line, and then you click on it and drag it down to make it bigger, or drag it back up to make it smaller. Let's talk about merging the cells into one cell. So for this demonstration, I'll be doing a survey on the difference. For an example, I'll be doing a survey on what sports people like. So let's say I wanted to make a table that compiled all the data together, and I wanted there to be a title for this table. What I would do is I would put a title. I'd go to this A1 square and put my title in, so I could say survey of favorite sports. And let's say I wanted this title to go across these two cells, this A1 cell and the B1 cell. Let's say I wanted them to be put together into one cell. I would select both of the cells, and then I would use this merge cells button. And once I press the merge cells button, it will be combined into one cell. Notice now that there's no line dividing the two cells apart. And then I could center it just like that by going to these lines, and I could press center, and then there we go. Now it's centered. I'll show you lastly how to insert full rows and columns, but I'll show you that in just a little bit. Now we'll get into entering data into a cell. The first part of entering data into a cell is just to click on one of the cells where you want to enter the data into. So for example, if I wanted to make this cell, say, one of my sports, I double click it so that my cursor is flashing in that cell, and then I just type out what I want to say in that cell. So for there, I'll put basketball, and then for the different sports, I can just keep doing that. Golf. Another sport we could do is volleyball, and we'll finish up with soccer. And then that's just how to put different words into the different cells. But let's say we wanted to instead put numbers in. It's just the same process. You select the cell and just start typing out the different numbers. So if I put 34 for basketball there, and I put 76 for golf, I'll actually change to 76 just to make it a bit lower, so 25 maybe. Volleyball, I'll put 12. Soccer's maybe the most popular, it's 40. And just like that, I can bring up this whole, I've just put in data into the cell. Let's say I had a bunch of cells that had the same data. So let's say I had a couple sports that 20 people liked. So let's say one sport liked by 20, and then maybe 4 more sports were also liked by 20. If I wanted to bring that data down, I would select this box where it says 20, and then there's this little square in the bottom right corner of it. So I just hover my mouse over that, click it, and then as I drag it down, I can go to however many cells down I want. And then once I let go, there are going to be more numbers in that. It's going to copy those numbers into the cells below it as well. Now we'll talk about copying the data into the different cells. So if we had some words here, let's say I had football here, and I wanted to put that into my survey, and I wanted to copy football from here and paste it there. I just do it like copying pasting on any other kind of application. I'd highlight it, Control C, and then notice how it's in that dotted border. So that just indicates that it's the one that's being copied. And then I just go to where I want to paste it and I press Control V, or on Windows or on Mac instead of Control, it would be Command. So then that's how I paste it back in there, and then I can add a value for that. So 16. And then the last thing I will show is how to do simple math within the cells. Let's say, for example, we wanted to add up the total amount of people who were doing the total amount of people who were surveyed in this survey. Normally, you might want to do it by doing the math all by yourself. You might do 34 plus 25 plus 12. So if I do that math now, I'll do that quickly just for the demonstration. 34 plus 12 plus 25 plus 40 plus 16. That brings us to a total of 127. Okay, so that took quite a while, and that doesn't really capture what Microsoft or what the Google Sheets is best at. So, and another problem that happens with that is, let's say, for example, we wanted to add another cell in. Let's say someone decided that we need to add a different sport in. I'll show you now how to insert a row or a column. The first thing you do is you highlight one cell and then you right click and it brings up this list of options, and then you'll insert row or insert column there. So let's say I want to insert a row there. I just click on that, and then I put my next sport. So we'll say hockey, and 10 people like that. But notice now, my total isn't the same anymore, so I'd have to change that. But there's an easier way to do that. We can take advantage of the power of the spreadsheet, and we can make a total sum of this number. So instead of adding it ourselves, we can do our math within the function. So we can go to functions here. It's this little Greek letter that kind of looks like an E. You click on that, and then you click sum. There are a bunch of different options here, like average, maximum, and minimum. But if we're adding it up, we're going to choose sum. We click that, and then we choose our values. So here, and then we click and drag all the way down to there. And then once we have the values we want added highlighted, we can press enter. So now it updates our total automatically. So for example, if more survey results came in and it was 6 more people liked volleyball, so this would become 18. And then once we change that value, you see the total amount of survey takers was automatically updated because we used that that adding function. And then we could also do that with individual cells as well. So let's say we wanted to know how many people liked basketball and football only. We could put equal sign, and then we just select the different boxes that we want to add into our highlight, or that we want to add together. So we'll select 34 from the basketball. We just click on it, and then we add whatever math we're doing in the middle. So we'll put plus, and then we can click on football there. And then once we click enter, it will be automatically put in. So then if we want to change the survey data, 3 more people like basketball, we put 37, and watch the total amount of survey takers will go up, as well as this number here. Once I press enter, and then you see they both go up. And then you can do the same thing with adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So instead of putting the plus like we had just done, we might put a minus sign. So that would be the dash on your keyboard. Or you might want to multiply. So that would be the asterisk. So you'd press Shift 8 to multiply. And then if you wanted to divide, you would just press the slash to divide. The next thing I'll show you is how to add different charts into your spreadsheet. So let's say we wanted to put all this data into a chart. We could do that by using the sheets, and it will make a chart for us automatically. So if we highlight all the data there, or I'll leave the total out of it. So if we highlight this, we will go to this button where it's kind of got like its own bar graph. You just go there and it says insert chart. So you just click on that. And because you have this highlighted, it will insert a chart based on the highlighted information. And you just click on that, and then it will automatically develop a chart. Let's say we didn't want a pie chart, we wanted a bar graph. Instead of where it says chart type, instead of pie chart, we can select the different charts that we'd rather have. So then we can change it to a bar graph if we think that would be better. And then we have the different values alongside. And using this information, it would automatically put that in. And then if we wanted to go back to pie chart, we could do that as well. So that's just a really quick way to get a visual representation of the different things. And then if we wanted to customize it, we can go to chart style, and then we can change kind of the different colors with it, the fonts, and all of that kind of fun stuff. We can change the chart and axes title. We can change the legend for it, and we can do all that other stuff. That might be good if you're changing around with your chart. And then we can finish up with two more things, or three more things. I'll show you how to add a new sheet. So far, we've been working on this one sheet, but another thing that we could do is we can have sheets within sheets. They're kind of just different pages of a different book. So to do that, we would go to the bottom, to this row here at the bottom. It says sheet 1. If we wanted to add another sheet, which is kind of like a different subheading kind of thing, if that makes any sense, like a different subcategory, we would click the plus button where it says add sheet, and we would do just that. And then it brings up a blank sheet, but it's kind of within the same main document. So if we were doing a series of surveys where we had a ton of different responses and different questions, that would be pretty good to do. And then let's say we do this one is on sports, and this one was a survey that we did on food. We can change the title of each of these, of each of the sheets. So right now it says sheet 1, but we can change that to sports. So to do that, you right click on it, and then you click rename, and then you just backspace and type what you want the name to be. So I could put sports. And then for the next one, let's say this was a survey on food. And then we can change the title of this one to, instead of sheet 2, we can change it and rename it so that it says food. So if you have different categories that kind of go under the same topic, using different sheets would be the best thing to do. And then let's say you made an extra sheet and you just want to delete it. You can right click on it and then go to the top where it says delete. And then it might ask you, are you sure you want to delete this sheet? And then you can press OK. One of the last things I'll show you is how to share a document. This is really what sets Google Sheets apart from other spreadsheet software, is the ability to share the Google Sheet with other people. And then you can track what their edits are, and you can see their edits happening in real time, and you guys can all work collaboratively on one document. So to share it, automatically it's set to private. So if we go to the share button, if I hover over it, it says private only to me. But if I wanted to share it with someone else, what I could do is I could click this share button and it will bring up this menu. It says share with people and groups. So let's say I wanted to share this, for example, with my sister. I could do that by typing in her email here. Okay, so I'll type in email. And then you can type in whoever's email that you want to share it with. So if it's your other members of your team, then you can do exactly that. And you just type in their email and then you tap on their name. And then just like that, it says my sister's email there. Then I can change what kind of um, editor she is to it. So I can change her from being an editor, meaning she has the ability to change anything within the document, or I can make her a commenter, which means she can only add comments on different things. And then I can change her to a viewer. That way she only gets to see the document, but she can't make any edits. So I can do that, press viewer, and then I would press message if I wanted to type something like work on this with me. And then once I have my message and I've set her to the right kind of viewer, I'd press send. And then the last thing you can do to share it is you can get a link to it. So if you wanted to send the link in an email, you would copy the link and then you would paste the link into whatever email or message you're sending. And then the person who receives the link, once they click on it, they'll be able to access the document. If you are ever lost using Sheets, the help menu has a lot of tools to help you navigate. And then the help menu is just right there. So thank you for watching this presentation on Google Sheets. I hope you'll interact with cyber seniors in the future.